Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome to, well, kind of a new gear set video. This is more of an updated version of my Alpha Bridge FAMAS build. Now, I have got a lot of comments on that build saying to use a gun that's not the G36 because it inflates your DPS quite a bit with the focus talent, so I've opted to use an M4 due to a couple of people suggesting that gun to be used. And I've also kind of adjusted the build to be more effective in PvP, since this is what I've been using this build for and have built it specifically around. But even though it is built specifically around PvP, it works really well in PvE as well, because it is obviously using ARs. It has really high enemy armor damage, and it's a very versatile build. Let's get into it. Right, as you see here, I'm still using my 4-piece alpha, obviously. FAMAS is a secondary. It's the same FAMAS as I know it's a different FAMAS, I believe. This particular FAMAS has responsive, vicious, and uncomplicated. So it's a pretty good role. Vicious, I know some people don't really like that, but for the way I've built this build, vicious actually comes in handy because I've got a lot of crit hit chance with this build, and that's actually a good thing in PvP. I know I don't have the best crit hit damage, but still, more crits is always a good thing. I mean, even if it's just the 55% that I have, that is 55% more damage than somebody that doesn't have as much crit hit chance. And in my eyes, that is invaluable in PvP. Now, my primary is my lightweight M4. I have got Destructive, Unforgiving, and Brutal. Destructive is obviously a really good perk. It gives you 5% effectiveness towards players, 15% against PvE enemies. I'm still not too sure if it's 5% flat damage or 5% less armor on the enemies. I still have to do a little bit of testing for that because it's something that a lot of people aren't sure of. I've also got Unforgiven, which is obviously a good perk when you're face trading. Obviously, when you're getting down to the 2 missing segments, you're doing 25% less, 25% more damage, and that's always a good thing. And I've got Brutal, which personally I could probably do with changing out for something else, such as Competent or something, because I prefer the flat damages and not the headshot damages, because obviously using an M4, it's not the most handleable weapon right now, especially since I'm on console. I don't necessarily go for headshots as much as I should. I tend to just go for bursts to the body, but anyway, it's still effective, and Brutal does still work. Even spraying into their body, a couple of bullets will still hit their head, and it works in that way, and it's very good, obviously. As my sidearm, this doesn't really matter, but I've opted to use a sawn-off. I just like to use this to finish off players. If I run out of ammo in my primary, I like to just quickly switch to the sawn-off. A couple of blasts, it usually downs them, even if they're at around half health. Because as you see, it does 137k damage, which is an absolute ton. And obviously it's got the stagger, so it's got that utility to it. Now I've got my chest piece, my bag, my holster, and my knee pads. They obviously have as much armor as they can. My knee pads has max enemy armor damage. It's got a couple of resistance, but that's not really what you want to focus on. I'm just going to quickly click on them just to show you. Another thing you might want to take into account is I've got as much ammo capacity as I can. I've got in my chest piece and my bag, so definitely go for that, because Alpha Bridge tears through your ammo, and it's near enough essential to get that that ammo capacity, just so you are able to, say, go on a manhunt or, you know, fight for longer, basically. Now for my gloves, I have Savage gloves with assault rifle damage. They also have crit chance and crit damage, which this, in my opinion, is very near a god roll. I think I can get my assault rifle damage up a tiny bit. you could probably get a slightly higher stamina roll, but it's over 1200 and that's what I kind of go for. Seems to be very good. It also has a really good base armor roll, which is always a plus side. For my mask, I am using Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask just to combat the Firecrest users and incendiary grenades. It works really well, but do take into account that even though you're immune to fire's effects, you still get damaged. So that flame turret is still going to be damaging you, that incendiary grenade is still going to damage you, so still avoid fire, but if it does come into the situation where you do get set on fire, you're okay, you can still shoot them. But if you do not have that, then I'd advise going for a refreshed mask, because the skill power on this build isn't particularly the highest, so refreshed will just help you get a better heal. But if you do not like refreshed, go for tenacious, that's a good one, or any of the other masks. They're all pretty good, to be honest. And that's it for that. Let's go and let's make sure I'm on my primary, in fact, and then go to my character sheet. Weapon damage, here you go. Crit hit chance, I don't think that takes into account vicious, so that's 34%, and it doesn't take into account savage, so that's an extra 7%. That is 41.5% critical hit chance. That is if it doesn't take into account vicious. I don't know if it does, but if it doesn't, still 31.5 is also a really high chance. That means at least a third of your bullets are going to be hitting crits, and it may just be an extra 55% damage, but that's an extra 55% damage that your enemy might not have, and it will give you a advantage there, because you're obviously doing more damage. And I will show you the damage numbers on the dummy in just a minute. I've got 120% headshot damage, that's always good. Now let's go there. I've got 47.5% enemy armor damage, quite high. That's around 50, I think it's just over 15% extra damage to players, or less armor on players. Yeah, again, I don't really know how enemy armor damage works against players, but still, that's always a good thing. Survivability, I have 195k health, which is a very decent amount. Obviously in PvP I like to be slightly tanky, but well, for this build I like to be slightly tanky because you already have the high DPS as you see there, and I also have 53.18% weapon mitigation, which is always good. It's on the higher side. I know you can probably get to 55%, but as I said, I haven't properly min-maxed this build quite yet. I've been, well, busy with other builds really. I've been using my strikers build a lot, and if you guys want to see that, then it's on my channel, you can find it. Now let's get onto here. I'm using a pulse and the overheal one, and damage alt, just in case you're interested. In fact, I'll just quickly show you my talents as well. A critical save, one is none, precision, and on the move. They'll just help you in and they're just good. Okay. If you are running in a group, I advise using combat medic instead of one is none, because that will help your teammates and it will be cool. Now let's show you this. I do, as you see there, I'm doing 23.8k damage to the body on a non-crit, 36.9k damage on a crit. To the head I do 53 and 72 on a crit. So very high damage numbers, especially for an AR. But as you see here, as you get past around the half mark on this weapon, it just starts bouncing around everywhere. But I will also show you how much damage I do on a crit with my push-ups, should I say. I do 25 to the body, and I do 55 to the head, 73 to the head on a crit, and what crits do we do here? 43 on crit on the body. So definitely run this pulse. I know conceal is becoming quite popular, but I personally like to just go for tactical scanner still, because it's got the extra crit hit damage, and well, that's a good thing with a high crit chance. Also, I believe you don't get an increase in damage when you use Scrambler, so that's another advantage you get when using tactical scanner, something a lot of people don't really go over. Also, if you're using refreshed, I advise using booster shot, because it'll just give you more damage and more tankiness. But if you're not using it and with this low skill power, I advise using overdose, because it'll give you a better self heal. One last thing you guys might be interested in is my mods that I have on. I have all firearms, 2 stamina, all with armor. That's what I have for that. But for here I have, I believe it's 2 crit ones and 2 self-heal. Oh no, 3 self-heals, all at around 5, 1 at 5.5, so that's 15.5% more self-heal I get. It's greedy. You can go for ally heal, but what can I say? I'm greedy. And I've got the 2% crit hit chance, which is obviously just a good thing. Now, that's all for this video today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope this build is more... well, I hope this build is better than the previous one. I hope you guys find it useful. I hope you guys try it out. I know a lot of people are running this right now in the Dark Zone, so it's very, very, very usable right now. Especially if you learn to handle the M4, you will absolute shred through everyone. It is really fun and it's awesome, especially with this Pharaoh's mask, because when they're sitting there and they can't shoot because they're on fire, but you can, I mean, that's a huge advantage. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. That's all from me today. If you like this, like, and you know, like just because it's a cool build and stuff, right? And also subscribe for more. That'll be cool. I've got some other builds in the works, including an all high-end build that is absolute monstrous, and a few other builds on the way. So hope to see you guys there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.